Coram Deo. Coram Deo, bazalwane, is a Latin phrase. A Latin phrase that is translated to say, in the presence of God. The theologians, when they speak about Coram Deo, the theology students, they speak about a Christian living in the presence of, under the authority of, and to the honor and glory of God. And understand the Latin, bazalwane, so understand that Latin is one of those languages that is used to formulate our laws. Even our lawyers when they learn a law, they learn via Latin. Bazokutshela ngama-domicilium nawusayina ama-contract wazi ukuthi sengikhuluma ilanguage enkulu edlula Africans nobo-Portuguese. Sikhuluma ngelanguage ye-constitution manje bazalwane. So ngicela sigijimele ku-Daniel 6. UDaniel 6 wami ngizomfunda ngoba ngifuna ukuthi kube nama verses esodila nawo. Ngizomfunda mili ungawari, ngifuna ukucedela ivoice yakho ihle kakhulu. Sifuna is-bless nge-worship. Daniel 6 ngizoqala ku-1 bese ngizogijima nayo. Kunamanye amavesi engifuna ukuthi sifocus kiwo kodwa ngizobuya kiwo. It says, it starts by saying, siyitholile bazalwane? Amen bazalwane? Amen. Daniel, it says, it pleased Darius to appoint 120 satraps to rule throughout the kingdom, with 3 administrators over them, one of whom was Daniel. The satraps were made accountable to them so that the king might not suffer loss. Now Daniel so distinguished himself among the administrators and the satraps by his exceptional qualities that the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. At this, the administrators and the satraps tried to find grounds for charges against Daniel in his conduct of government affairs, but they were unable to do so. They could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Finally, these men said, we will never find any basis for charges against this man Daniel unless it has something to do with the law of his God. So these administrators and satraps went as a group to the king and said, may King Darius live forever. The royal administrators, prefects, satraps, advisors, and governors have all agreed that the king should issue an edict and enforce the decree that anyone who prays to any god or human being during the next 30 days, except to you, your majesty, shall be thrown into the lion's den. Now, your majesty, issue the decree and put it in writing so that it cannot be altered, in accordance with the law of the Medes and the Persians, which cannot be repealed. So King Darius put the decree in writing. Bear with me, Mzalwane, I'm going somewhere with this. Now, when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened towards Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to God, just as he had done before. Then these men went as a group and found Daniel praying and asking God for help. So they went to the king and spoke to him about his royal decree. Did you not publish a decree that during the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or human being, except you, your majesty, would be thrown into the lion's den? The king answered, the decree stands in accordance with the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be repealed. Then they said to the king, Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, your majesty, or to the decree you put in writing. He still prays 3 times a day. When the king heard this, he was greatly distressed. He was determined to rescue Daniel and made every effort until sundown to save him. Then the men went as a group to King Darius and said to him, remember, your majesty, that according to the law of Medes and Persians, no decree or edict that the king issued can be changed. So the king gave the order, and they brought Daniel and threw him into the lion's den. The king said to Daniel, may your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you. A stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet ring and the rings of his nobles, so that Daniel's situation might not be changed. Then the king king returned to his palace and spent the night without eating and without entertainment being brought to him, and he could not sleep. At the first light of dawn, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. When he came near the den, he called to Daniel in an anguished voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Daniel answered, "May the king live forever. My God sent his angel. He shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I ever done anything wrong before you, your majesty." If we get to understand who Daniel is, we must not imagine Daniel as a young boy. Daniel is an 80-something year old man who has survived 5 previous rulers. He's known for the dreams and visions that he has and the way he interprets them. So he grew through the ranks over the years. Njengoba ashizo untate Ivan ukuthi umzalwane simazi ngenkinga. Daniel went through those problems in order for him to be the administrator. In other versions, they call them presidents. This man called Daniel chose to live with integrity. And that's what made him survive through those rulers and through those years in order for him to make it as far as he has made it. And guess what? Inja, Bachai Konkoti, Imoto, and me. Daniel is a moving vehicle. These satraps, these prefects, they can see, what imagine we are dealing with a moving vehicle, I'll call Daniel. But because the man chose to live with integrity. Integrity, Bazalwane, calls for choices. And it calls for choices when you are alone more than anything else. Where you need to make a difficult choice, but it's the right choice. Not an easy one. Integrity. It demands that we do what is right when no one is looking. Amen, Bazalwane. So let's take a look at what Daniel goes through using this shield of integrity. Because we need to understand, if you have integrity, there is no amount of fire, opposition, or challenges that can come against you. Because people do not realize that when you are challenging a person of integrity, a person who has dedicated themselves to the Lord, you are not challenging that person, you are challenging the Lord himself. And the Lord has to put you in those situations so that you can grow. Now Daniel had distinguished himself among the administrators. He had set himself apart from the ordinary. Mzalwane, you cannot operate as an ordinary Mzalwane. You cannot operate as a one verse Mzalwane. You cannot operate like the only thing you know is the good news and not the trouble that comes with the good news. He had exceptional qualities. He had a track record. What is your track record going to tell us? Because what you tell us with your mouth and what the track record says, they need to be aligned. They need to be aligned, and the only way you can align this is if you practice coram deo, living in the presence of, under the authority of, and to the honor and glory of God at all times. Because remember, coram deo is not just a Sunday thing, it's a lifestyle thing. You know, when you are a subject of a king, you become subjected to situations, and then you become the subject of subjects. Outing pin the foot, Miss Call. When you are a subject of a king, actually a king will call you his subject. That means you have to operate in his authority. And then you become subjected to situations that need your patience, that need your resilience, that need your obedience, that need your submission, that means your silence. You are subjected. And then you become the subject of other subjects because now you are highlighted. Because once you get into that situation of being subjected, that's when you start progressing, that's when you start moving, because you are learning things that you never operated in before. You're learning the art of patience. You're learning the art of opening your mouth when it desires it. You're learning the art of being resilient against the fire that makes that gold come out as perfect as it does. And then what do you become? You become a subject, because now you are highlighted. That is the He did this. He had an outstanding and exceptional quality in the midst of bondage and captivity. That was Daniel. He did not care what the situation around him meant. He said, I'm going to stick to my Lord. I'm going to stick to my God no matter what. New decree or no new decree. And the king had planned to promote him. It gets tricky, Bazalwan. You do not ask for promotion if you are not strong enough.
Oh, Jesus.
And you beg. Not everyone will be happy that you are being promoted, or there's a plan for you to be promoted, or for you. No one will be excited or cheer you on. But you must also think about it the other side. If you are the one that's not being happy or cheering others on or being excited when they are being promoted, that means when yourself you are weak and you shall not be promoted, because you have not subjected yourself to the pains that this person that is getting the promotion has been subjected to.
Thank you, Jesus.
So that person's promotion is a test unto you as well, in terms of how do you react. And the moment you react in the negative, that means you are not ready. Assess yourself, Mzalwa. How do I react when I see a moving car? Do I bark or do I ask for a lift? Has that dog ever thought about asking for a lift? Instead of barking at it. Because you've missed your opportunity.
That's powerful.
Verse 4 says, at this the administrators, the satraps, tried to find grounds of charges against Daniel, but they were unable to do so. That's because he was trustworthy. He was faithful. A trustworthy and faithful person, because he's a man full of integrity. His actions are aligned to his values and beliefs. He is unshaken. And as umuntu naga unshaken, they become more outstanding. Kufana nentombi into ebelieve ukuthi mina ngizozinikela endodeni yami nangishada. Nakahamba istradini, ngisho nalabafana bakuleso strata bathi nabambona bathi yo, leya ntombi leya. Intombi bathi awungamsukeli my bra. Lo uzokutshela lo. Ungamsukeli, are you ready ukumshada? Because they can see the quality that you are. You are not just the newspaper that anyone opens. Yo! Speak, Lord. Do we ever take the time to look at our integrity as it is presented to the face of God? Not to us. Because to us we can be holy. Watch from this last week. What you can be holy, but we say irrighteousness. Yo, that's a bus I don't want to miss. That's definitely a bus I do not want to miss. What choices do I make that reflect my integrity? Every day, every week. Am I making the right choices? Do my actions line up to my values and my beliefs? You know, Daniel knew that even if he worked for the king, he did not answer to that king. He answered to the Holy of Holies. But he knew his place and how to deal with the king on earth. See, now we do it the other way around. We answer to the kings that we have here on earth. The pleasures of this world more than the Lord God himself. In his physical. And in a corner, he says a question. So these administrators, you know, people never change from day one up until today. They went there as a group to the king. You know, sometimes when you are doing something that is silly and it is not right with the Lord, you don't want to do it alone. You want to do it in a group so that you can hide your shame. Yokuthi lento lengiyayazi ukuthi ayisi right, but njengoba ngizophushela udima phambili ngiphushela ukhaya phambili ngizovika ngabo ngithi amara bangiconvincile. Yini lento siyenzayo ngama group? We form groups, we form Facebook pages so that sizos called abanye abantu and hide behind our Facebook names. We form a 3-minute society. Yazi 3-minute society. It's cut some 3 minutes. You phone each other. It's cut some 3 minutes. I'm a phone call. Yeah, we have to talk. We have to talk about this person. WhatsApp groups, and they fail to find default with Daniel, even with all these groups put together. Koramdeo. They set out to set him up, not because he was lazy. They set out to set him up, not because he was a liar. They set out to set him up because he was trustworthy and faithful. Do the right thing when an awful is in just concord. Not because you are lazy. Not because when you do not bring yourself to the table. Your faithfulness to God. You know, when your faithfulness to God is the same as the faithfulness you give to your work. Uvuka ungena ngo9, uphuma ngo5, ubheka imithetho yalapho, awumali uzenzela umathanda ofisini, but uNkulunkulu ufuna ukuzenzela umathanda. Mthalane kanti, what's this? Verse 10 then says, verse 10 is my favorite because he says, he went home to his upstairs room. We must have our sacred places, Bazalane. We must have our war rooms where when you go into it and you start praying, things move. Things get shaken. Your circumstances change because you have moved into that special place where you know this is a place of prayer. This is my war room. And he had his window open. I'm imagining he had his window opening towards Jerusalem. When that group, the Alama satraps, came to see if he was praying or not, I'm sure he saw them. I'm sure he saw them, but he was not worried, shaken or moved. Because he knew what he's doing is the priority. This is the number one priority. Everything else can stop. I'm sure he didn't even stop. He continued. What was Linda up until in bed because your figure. No. And verse 80, just as he had done before. And it's